Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Man and Machine here with the PeakBot team. Your boy Dillon and Dillon and Ben here, co-founders of PeakBot and co-hosts of two fantastic shows here on the Tradier Hub, Man and Machine, and the Automation Station. Yes, we're also live on Fridays at noon. This is episode 205. Ben, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday. A lot of people are, lobbying for this to become a holiday. Though it would be great. You hear the rumors about the NFL extending the season maybe one more week, which would push the Super Bowl into President's Day weekend. Then you're off President's Day. There you go.
Come on. We can do that.
Could and should.
What the answer probably comes back to, in fact, ready for a quick fun fact while we wait for people to join? Yes. And by the way, we got a great show today. We're going to be talking about stocks in real life, Pepsi, which, by the way, maybe a good time for the Pepsi. It used to be the Pepsi halftime show. Not anymore. Do you know who it is?
I don't.
You don't? Apple Music halftime show. Shocker. If I gave you 10 guesses, you probably would have gotten to Apple.
Probably.
Yes. But it was Pepsi halftime show for how long? Felt like my whole life.
As long as I can remember. Is that new this year?
No, Apple's had it for a couple years. I think we'll look it up.
Okay,
we'll look it up. But I think Apple Music's had it for a couple years.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't know. Oh, my first day as a New York Jet, not an athlete, as an employee selling their suites. First day was actually an on-site meeting in the city, and it was like an experience thing for our team to go learn at the NFL headquarters in the city to learn about the scheduling and how complex the making of the NFL scheduling is and how it's, millions of different things that come into it. So the whole extending the schedule 1 week on paper sounds easy, but the logistics and operations behind it is probably, even with AI powered machine learning, still a nightmare to make happen.
Yeah. I'm sure.
But anyway, who were you rooting for? You were rooting for the Seahawks.
I was. Nice. I don't know. I just felt like the Patriots were a fraud going into the Super Bowl.
Many thought that.
They kind of got exposed, but
they did.
I mean, Drake May would love to have that game back.
Dude, I was saying it looked like he was I think he's a second-year quarterback, and it looked like it.
Yeah.
That one interception was so bad. He just no. And Sam Darnold, you know what? Look, good for him, man. By the way, he's our age. Did you know that? He was like, I guess he's been in the league almost 10 years. It's ridiculous. He's one of those like 6-year college guys, though. He was like 22, 23, graduating when he won the Heisman. I think. Did he not?
Yeah, five teams in 8 years. That's his stat.
Yeah. Anyway, brutal. So anyway, let's jump into it. We got a lot to talk about. People will still be joining here over the next few minutes. I'm going to get some music going here for us. Sorry for not already having that going. Let's get into it.
Cool. All right. Stocks in real life today. We are going to talk about Pepsi, which another reference to the Super Bowl. Did you see the Pepsi commercial?
Let me think.
They stole the Coca-Cola polar bear.
Yeah. No, I didn't see this. Maybe I should pull it up on YouTube. Oh, we don't have the rights.
We might get taken down.
Let's do that. Okay, so explain it to me briefly.
It was basically there was a blind taste test where a polar bear was tasting Coke and tasting Pepsi, and it chose Pepsi, and then it was just the polar bears living their life drinking Pepsi.
Wow. And I guess Coca-Cola can trademark a lot of things, including the red Santa Claus whole skit, right? I think we've talked about that one.
I don't know.
But they can't just take all polar bears. You know what I mean? Pepsi, they'll throw a polar bear out there. Next year they're going to go for their Clydes. They're going to go for that's Budweiser. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, there were some good commercials. You know what? I have a kid running around, so when there's commercials, I'm like, mostly. Actually, I'm lying. I was probably just filling up on more food. Any good treats? Any good Super Bowl treats?
Dumplings. There were dumplings. Yeah, and it was. I don't know who made them, I actually forget, but it was these mini dumplings that had like juice inside of the dumpling.
Oh, it's a soup dumpling. Soup dumpling.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a foot. Like there was other stuff in it. It was really
Okay.
good. Like you didn't have to dip it in anything. The stuff you would dip it in was in the dumpling already. Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah, it was really good.
We're moving forward, people. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Trying to think of the best thing that I had. Had this buffalo mac and cheese like big ziti, which was kind of
Oh,
wild.
wow.
Never combined those two things before.
Yeah,
Big fan.
it
Big fan.
worked.
It worked. It worked. I'll tell you what I didn't have last night. I didn't have any Pepsi, but let's talk about the stock. Okay, Ben, you're not a Pepsi guy.
I'm not a soda guy in general,
No,
honestly.
not really a big soda guy myself.
Yeah, you know.
Um,
But when it comes to Pepsi or Coke, I was always a Coke guy. The only time I would really get Pepsi is when we would go to Taco Bell. You know, because Taco Bell, Yum Foods, Yum brand,
didn't have
is
choice really.
they're a Pepsi Cola company.
Yeah, they are. All right. So yeah, my same way. You know, my whole family drinks a whole lot of Diet Coke, and I think for years my dad would say he would just get whatever was on sale, Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke, and he would tell himself that he didn't care or mind the difference, and maybe he didn't because he was too worried about the food. But there's such a difference to me. Pepsi is like way sweeter, and I'll never do like the full Pepsi or the full Coke.
Yeah.
I think that's insane. I cannot. I can't. It tastes like syrup to me. But that's just me. But anyway, yeah, Diet Pepsi was always a little bit sweeter in my opinion. Any other like interesting experiences with Pepsi other than, of course, the halftime show? I'm gonna see how long they had the halftime show.
Yeah, check that out. Have you ever done the blind taste test, Coke versus Pepsi?
No, I don't think I have.
I've done it before. I was at, I don't know, some sort of food truck festival and they had it going on there.
Really?
And it's pretty easy to tell the difference. You know, Coke is a very distinct flavor when compared to Pepsi.
Yeah.
And you could tell pretty easily.
Yeah, I would see. I would like to think I can get it. You know, then I'd probably be the one who's up there just not knowing and flailing. But here I got more information. Any guesses before I pull it up on how long Pepsi had the halftime show?
I'm gonna guess from 2009 up into 2019. 10 years.
Wow, so you're not far off. I mean, you got
Really?
the duration, what you did, and you're only a few years off. So yeah, it was 2013 to 2022. So they did have it for 10 years. Boy, it felt like longer for that. I wonder who had it before 2013. Maybe these are just our formative years. I don't know. But yeah, so 10 years they had it. And then, yeah, Apple Music took over in 2023.
I'm actually curious. Can you do a Google search of all of the halftime sponsors, like all time?
List of all halftime sponsors. I'm just going to help the internet a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's going to want to show me halftime shows. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Nice.
Bridgestone?
Nice. Yeah. Wow. Bridgestone. I'm trying to think if I can remember that. Bridgestone. No, I guess not. They didn't. Hey, didn't do a good job. Lost it. You know, you got to run.
It looks like they would just do like annual contracts. Oh, E-Trade. What?
Wow. Hey.
Tradier, step your game up.
Come on, man. Oscar Mayer. So let's see who had it for a run. All right. Not really. Okay, so look, one company did this well. All right, you can argue Bridgestone was the longest outside of Pepsi, which you know, I guess Apple Music's now competing with. But that's a run, man. Because that was, I bet their first. All right, let's do this. Halftime show performances by year. Because we know that 2013 was like Britney Spears, one of their first. Let's see. I'd love to go to Wikipedia, but let's just go to CBS. But give me an easy list, CBS. Okay, here we go. So 2013, first one. They kicked it off with Beyonce. Nice. Right? I mean, nailed that one. That was a good performance. Mm-hmm. Bruno Mars, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I remember it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Katy Perry. That was like one of the first viral moments, right? With like the dancing shark. And
and they had those big animal floats things that came out, and there was controversy, I think, with, I forget exactly, but
Look, they
Look at that,
nailed these.
Bruno Mars coming back in 2016 from 2014 to 2016.
How about Beyonce coming back too?
Yeah.
Lady Gaga snuck in again last night. Justin Timberlake before he was a shell of himself. Sorry, Justin, if you're watching. Maroon 5. These are all great shows. The Weeknd, that one was weird. This one was great. Rihanna was great. Yeah. All right. Kendrick was kind of a flop last year, right? I think we all kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I don't remember it that much.
But yeah, wow, they had quite a run here. This was Pepsi. They had it good. We had it good. And but anyway, okay. So where do we go from here? Let's look at the stock, Ben. I've definitely traded Pepsi on trend spread.
Oh yeah.
I know Thomas did for a while because he was going for the consumer goods and trying to ride that wave and the whole thing. Have you taken a look at the chain? You want to pull up the chart if you have it?
Yeah, I'll pull up a chart here. Let me switch to this screen. So I've got a line on here from sometime or another. I'm not too sure when, but definitely have had some trades on Pepsi previously. This is the daily chart. Yeah, let's zoom in here. We can get rid of this line. I mean, it looks like, you know, I always like to look back at COVID, see what happened during COVID, how that impacted the ticker. It looks like during COVID or at the beginning of COVID, Pepsi dropped from a price of about 146 down to a little over $100. So a decent drop. That's like a 30% drop in price, and then immediately shot right back up and then continued to roar onwards from there. Now, if we look at Pepsi from, we'll call it May of 2023 until now, we're kind of in this downward channel. Although,
look at the last 10 days, dude.
Pepsi looking to flip that script. Look at that, breaking through what appears to be previous resistance, blowing right through it. What was their earnings? There was earnings. How did earnings go?
Dude. And they had a nice. They
earnings
surprised,
beat.
but not by much.
Yeah, there was an earnings beat. You're right, not by much. So there must be some other underlying things going on in the company that is improving investor confidence and improving their perceived value. So,
Ben, you'd think they'd be sponsoring the Super Bowl with this action.
Yeah, right.
This is crazy. When you zoom in on those last 10 days, I mean, it's the last 6 trading days.
Wait a second. Did you say that they stopped sponsoring the Super Bowl in 2023?
Yes.
That's when their stock price started to drop. That's when they topped out.
They couldn't afford the Super Bowl halftime show anymore.
They said, we're not sponsoring the Super Bowl anymore. And then bam, we've just been
They had a budget meeting.
Dropping ever since then.
They had a budget meeting, said we can't pull it off anymore. Can't do it. Apple Music outbid us. Let's just go spend money elsewhere.
And then let's take a look at Apple since May 2023.
Well, it's not act like the halftime show is really doing them favors, but
this is the Super Bowl effect right here.
Oh, get lost. Okay. Did you know that, fun fact, halftime show performers don't get paid?
They do not. They do get a budget for the show, though.
Yeah.
But they don't get paid.
All right. So look, let's go to the chain really quick. Ben, I don't know. You're absolutely right. There was a lot of resistance around this 155 price here, right around where you have your line, I'm assuming. And we've broken out of that, Their next earnings target is like super low for Q1. What is this? That's April for Q2. I don't know. I don't know what to do here, but the technicals are obviously a very strong buy, as you can imagine. Analyst ratings, which I just clicked on, Ben. Go ahead and click on that for this. A lot of more downside than we would usually see. But I'm seeing 11 analysts saying hold. 7 are a strong buy. So it's still a buy signal based on the ratings that are in here. Not that this is the end all be all by any means, but it's an interesting thing to look at always.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that there's more, potential drawdown.
I think Pepsi also pays a dividend, right? Is that right? Let's look at the chart here. They pay a quarterly dividend. The
Well,
next
how
one
much?
coming up is in March, and it's going to pay about
$1.1.
$1.42 per share.
Huh.
So hey, if you got 100 shares of Pepsi coming up in March, you're going to get paid $142 just for holding those shares.
Nice. All right, fantastic. So look, to be honest with you, based on this late action, I have no idea. I don't really want to touch this, truthfully. I don't know about you.
Yeah. No, I don't particularly want to trade this either. I mean, if we break this down further, look at the hourly chart. Yeah, we're ripping up right now. I mean, maybe play a mean reversion this week, saying that, we've got to come back down to earth a little bit. I mean, it's tough because when you look at the actual price, like we jumped up 155 to 170. That's a $15 bump. That's a 10% bump. I just got logged out, did I? All right, hold on.
That's all right.
I'm
looking at some more stats on PepsiCo and their dividends here. It's pretty impressive what they've been doing, actually.
Let's hear those stats while I log back into trading view.
Sure. So first of all, maybe this could have helped. 3 days ago, at least the news broke here on TradingView that they declared this dividend share was going up. So they had a 5% increase in their dividend payout. And they're expecting more annual rise of 4% starting in June, marking 54 years of increases. That's a fun stat for any company. And apparently, they're raising some cash. They're raising $2.5 billion.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's just some more information on Pepsi. But yeah, I think I'm done with Pepsi. Can't touch that stock in my opinion. Let's move on, Ben. What do you say?
Yes. I don't know what happened to my TradingView account either.
It's all right, man. I can handle that. What do we got next?
Next, we should talk about King AI, the bot shop. Yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This is the final week we will be talking about King AI. This is where we need to be. Final week that we'll be talking about King AI. We've gone through quite an agenda so far. We've talked about results. We've talked about what type of training our AI ML models go through. We talked about how those models will adjust delta. We talked about when not to trade. We talked about exiting a trade last week. And now we're going to talk about the continuous learning aspect and wrap up our sessions on King AI. And then next week, we will hop into another bot in our arsenal of bots here, the vertical wheel strategy. Now, if you've been with PeakBot, you know about our wheel strategy. This is very similar, but there are going to be some, I'd say, material changes, and I'll call them improvements even to the strategy, where I'm now going to be wheeling TQQQ every single week. And
yeah, me too.
I'm liking it so far. I have been doing it, and we can review that if we want to. But I'm excited about that. But let's wrap up King AI first. Let's talk about the continuous learning process, because what this bot does is every week, or every trade rather, every day, we get new data that we can feed into our machine learning model, and that model is continuously learning to help determine where strike prices should be placed when we're selling our iron condor, right? So are we placing those strikes at the 10, 15, 20, 25, or the 30 delta? What's going to give us the highest chance for success with the best risk reward ratio? So what do we mean when we say continuous learning, and what's the overall impact of continuous learning? Well, it gives us that sort of adaptive edge. So it's going to evolve with the market instead of just having a static strategy, right? And that's how, and we'll talk about in that last box there, that's how a lot of strategies get arbed out, right? So we want to continuously make improvements, even though it's not us as the human making those improvements, it is the model that we've built. So as new data comes in, price action, volatility, even results from past trades, we're going to be able to better calibrate entries. The bot will be better able to calibrate entries. It'll be better at placing those strike prices in the right spots. and keep that win rate high. So that overall builds up a lot of resilience to the strategy, because Dillon, we know from doing this for as long as we've been doing this, when you put an automated strategy onto the market, you've got to update it. I mean, you'll very quickly realize that, hey, this strategy is good for a little while, and then the market kind of catches up to you, and you've got to make updates to that strategy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've seen it plenty of times.
It's a relationship. It needs love. It needs attention. Things are changing.
Right,
Always.
right, exactly. Right. It just like the markets, the markets don't sit still, right? And we shouldn't sit still on our strategies either. So every decent bot company, I'm going to say PeakBot's a decent bot company.
I think you're being very kind, very shy.
They have to keep up with their strategies. And if they don't, I would stay away from that bot provider. Because markets don't sit still. There are different volatility cycles. There are market corrections. There are liquidity spikes and droughts. And then, of course, intraday, you never know what's going to happen. So continuously training your model not only helps us, but it helps you as the trader. It helps us by keeping up with the strategy without too much manual effort behind the scenes there. Then it helps you as the trader stay ahead of the market, keeping that adaptive edge, keeping the strategy resilient, and it keeps the data fresh and keeps the strategy fresh. So that way, when volatility regimes do shift, or there are some major gaps or trend reversals or persistence, this model it has seen it before, and it has a plan on what to do next.
Yeah, and just to add on top of that, with AI and machine learning growing as fast as it is, and the technology is advancing every day, every hour, there's a lot of people who are going to be out here using this irresponsibly, truthfully. There's going to be a lot of information that seems valid and can be run through tests done by AI, and you got to be careful. You need a smart team behind it. AI is a very powerful tool. We use it every day to develop new strategies and adjust our current ones and enter bots and all this good stuff. But got to be careful with it. Got to be really careful with it. So kudos to our whole team for, coming up with King AI. It's just crushing. Let's remind the people, because we're talking about it. Let's talk about. Let's just pull up the results and let's just talk about it. So I'm going to pull up my screen here.
Do it.
Ben, do you know off the top of your head, do you know the overall return since launch on King AI? I'm not talking turbo mode. We'll get to that in a second. We'll do both. But do you know the overall return on King AI?
It's like a 90 point, maybe 91% win rate now. And like, I want to say $2,500 gain, maybe $3,000 gain.
Yeah, you're getting closer, man. You're getting closer. You hit the under. It's $3,100 in return. Okay, here, pulling it up. Okay, so King AI, 1DTE Iron Condor on SPX with very smart, strict entry criteria using our AI models. 49 for 54, 90.4%. It's probably 90.5, I think. $3,100 and 155% return on your cash needed to trade this strategy day in and day out, which is $2,000. We got 2 condors that you could be in at once. So just an incredible strategy. And you can look at it month over month here on our results sheet. We're going on a little bit of a streak right now. So love to see that. Ben, turbo mode since launch. So this was a great trade last week, $322 in premium. That's awesome. So since launch here on turbo mode, it's catching up, man. What are we going to do? It's catching up. 2,700. Okay. Nearly 2,720 in return just on your 2K here, and only 2 losses since launch. All right, so again, that's also right around the 90-something% win rate. We're cooking. Is turbo mode active and live in the upfront on the?
Not yet. Not yet.
When are you planning on it? What are we thinking?
We are thinking next week, so we'll probably do a small internal beta this week just to see it in action. And then starting next week, or maybe I'll say the week after, just to be safe. So
yeah, there you go.
Call it mid to end of February. Turbo mode's going to be live for everybody else.
Awesome, man. So again, yeah, Ben, King AI, been on fire. Turbo mode, even better.
Yeah.
What else you
So
got here?
turbo mode is actually, a part of this machine learning process, which is, ties it all back together, right? So this bot is learning every single day, and look at this third box to the right here, harder to be arbed out because those static strategies do invite copycats. So when there is a good, on paper, a good statistical edge, a lot of people will flood into that strategy, ultimately arbing that strategy out of the edge that it does have. But with our adaptations, automatic adaptations, we tend to get ahead of that and deploy it faster than the market could keep up. So that's really good for us. It's really good for our subscribers here. And turbo mode is actually a result of that continuous learning process. So I know, Dillon, you did start to show some numbers, but just to, and we got a comment here, I'd like to have the ability to do one turbo mode and one regular mode. That's interesting.
Not a bad idea.
We will consider that. Maybe we just make it a separate bot.
Same time.
Yeah, maybe. That
Okay, Chef 39. We'll be talking to you.
All right, great idea. I love that. So what is turbo mode? It's slightly more aggressive. It's higher delta selection. So when King AI might select the 10 delta, King AI Turbo might select the 15 delta, right? Collect more premium, take a little bit more risk. The way that I at least am planning on using turbo mode, again, not financial advice, not financial advisor, you do whatever you want with it. I'm probably going to use it for loss recovery, right? Because right now, when King AI loses, it typically takes on average about 7 trades to make up for that loss. On turbo mode, it cuts that time in half. It's about 3.5 trades to make up for that loss. So when you think about it, your 4th trade, you're back in the green when you're trading turbo mode. And we saw that play out with the most recent King AI loss, where King AI Turbo made back all of the losses within 4 days. So it was exactly that 4-day period. And then for King AI, how are we doing making up for that? Did we get back there yet?
I think we talked about it. I think we're just back.
We're back in the green. Okay, so it did take, how many trades was it? I don't have the sheet up in front of me.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you're not including turbo mode, if you're just saying, has King AI recovered from its last loss, it's not there just yet. We've earned 725 in premium coming off of an 860 loss, and that's in 5 trades. So we're going to get there in under 7, probably.
Yeah, so if we win today's position, it will be back in the green. So 6 trades. It took 6 trades to recover from this one. So that's nice to see. Always good to see that.
Whereas turbo mode came back in under 4 trades.
Yes. So I do have the stat for turbo mode. It came back in, on the 4th trade, it became profitable again.
Gotcha.
So here are some quick stats. I don't know if this is updated for the most recent win, but 20 out of 22 trades won, almost a 91% win rate. ROI of $2,700. That's a cash-on-cash return of 135%. Again, that looks close to the King AI returns, but it's in half the time. So we are, as a team, very excited to release turbo mode. And now we've got some thinking on what's the best way to do that. Is it give a toggle within the King AI bot, or set up a completely separate bot so you could run one turbo and one normal?
I think there's more of a discussion to be had there. It's not a bad idea. Really, it's going to depend upon how hot it is when it comes out. But, having both, I don't hate. I really don't. It's a good idea there, Chef 39. We'll have our people contact your people. But anyway, awesome. So, Ben, I know we're here at a little over the half-hour mark. What else do we got here? I know we talked Friday about our other strategies. BenBot is on the mend here. Did you take a small loss on Friday, was it? Which I think was pretty good considering the market, right? I think we took a $34 loss.
Yeah, so there's not going to be as much correlation with the market and BenBot results anymore because we're not doing just covered calls. We are doing, it's essentially, and I'm updating the website today. So more information will be there, but it's essentially it's evolving into called a mean reversion volatility crush strategy, right? So we want to sell during periods of high volatility. We want to sell when we look overextended in one direction or another. Take our position, wait for volatility to calm down. That'll inherently decrease the value of our contracts, which we want when we're selling spreads. And if we move in the opposite direction of our spread, which is again what we want, then that will decrease value as well. So that's kind of what's evolving into. And it is not as capital intensive as it was. You don't need the 100 shares that we previously needed to trade that strategy. We only need, and I'm calling it $5,000 set aside. Really, I'm only trading with like maximum of 500 a day. But want to have that $5,000 in there for a buffer for any drawdown that might take place. But you still do need to be a pattern day trader. You need to be pattern day trader eligible, which does mean you need $25,000 in your account.
Yep. Excellent. So very exciting with BenBot updates all around. So if there's anything else to discuss on that, King Condor still alive and well, which we talked about. A lot of our partners having success with copy trading, E2T, JR28, BTF, Terry's Tips, a lot of fantastic results around copy trading and other bots that are still crushing it. So we're busy here in the PeakBot world. Ben, do you want to give a quick review of economic events? I know we touched on this Friday, but just a reminder for anybody who wasn't there, what we've got going on this week and what bots might be off.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll wrap up, get back to it. So today, we've got a position from Friday going into today and expiring at the end of market today. Not too much in the way of events. I mean, all the Fed speeches this afternoon makes me a little nervous. So we'll see what's talked about for those. But other than that, nothing major in my opinion. I'm just taking a look at futures real quick. We're down a little bit, so VIX might shoot up. We might not even have a position for the 1DTs going today into tomorrow. But looking at tomorrow, we've got some unemployment data before the market opens. We have retail sales. And then going into the afternoon, again, not too much to concern ourselves with. Tuesday into Wednesday, pre-market, we've got non-farm payrolls and unemployment rates. So that will cause a couple 1DTE bots to be off and not trade from Tuesday into Wednesday. We don't like trading those non-farm payrolls. We have 10-year note auctions, so Max's bots will be off. Wednesday going into Thursday, again, not too much going on. We've got a 30-year bond auction on Thursday afternoon, so Max's bots will be off on Thursday as well. And then we've got CPI on Friday, so that will turn some of the 1DTE bots off from Thursday going into Friday, and then pretty quiet day on Friday after the market does open, which is some oil recounts, which are done every Friday. So a little bit choppy this week in terms of what's going to be trading, what's not going to be trading. I would imagine that there's going to be some natural chop in the market this week, considering how the market's behaving recently.
Yep.
So there might even be some days where VIX increases too much overnight, which is for a lot of our 1DT bots, that's a reason for the bot to not trade. So I would expect several days of no trades this week.
All right. So, hey, we're here. We got our bots looking out for us, watching our six, keeping an eye on volatility, potential volatility events in the market and politics. Hopefully avoiding, I don't know if there's any more tariff stuff going on, but boy, I just hate that stuff. But anyway, so keep an eye out on things. Best of luck here this week. If you're interested in getting started with PeakBot automation, defined risk, fully automated, hands-free trading experience with results that you can track daily, fully transparent, wins and losses. We come on here twice a week and talk about everything that's going on. Of course, we take the trades ourselves in our own portfolios. So, look, if there's ever a time and a place to dip your toe into automated trading because you're sick of doing it yourself, or you want to get involved and you can't with your time, well, come on over. Schedule time. Head on over to peakbot.com. We'll schedule a discovery one-on-one discovery call with you. Spend 15 minutes. Make sure that this is a good fit for you, and if so, we'll get you on a one-on-one demo. Come on over, chat with us. We'll get you started. And Ben, I think that's it. Unless you got anything else.
No, that's it for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in. We will see you again on Friday at noon Eastern. And as always, thank you. We'll see you at the Peak. Take care.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.